I see a lot of times when the word submission is used or taught from the pulpit, I see the word submission used, but the concept that I see coming across, the attributes that come across, are the attributes of obedience. And I don't think that's what God intended, really. The wife is as equal as the man. They just differ in roles that God has assigned to each one of them.
When we discovered that we were HIV positive, my husband forbid me to tell anyone. So at first I never disclosed my status to anyone. But after the death of my husband, I believe I'm a free woman now. There are no strings attached now. So I'm at liberty to do whatever I want now. Unless if he was around, I was not going to have this interview with you. Because if I had this interview with you, if he's still alive, he was going to beat me up or chase me. But now that I'm free, I think I'm at liberty to do whatever I want.
When you read the Bible, it categorically says that God created man in his own image. Male and female, he created them. And so when God created man, he created them male and female, giving them an equal stand before God and before one another. And when you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God gives responsibilities to both male and female. The Bible reads, and I quote, "And God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and have dominion over the earth." And it goes on to say, they must rule. Now, it is a joint rulership. So man and woman have been given the mandate by God to dominate the earth and not dominate one another.
If you look at the concept of submission in the Bible, husband, wife submit to your husbands, people tend to take the word that later on comes within that text of Ephesians, where God says, children, obey your parents. Whereas the word obey is used in terms of children to parent relationship, is never used to husband-wife relationship.
Women are vulnerable. And why women are vulnerable are receivers. When these men go out, we don't ask where they are coming from. We just open up to them and receive. So we are more vulnerable.
The woman cannot say, since your behavior is not clear to me, I suggest we use a condom. In that case, then she's not submissive. You are not submissive to me. Therefore, you are not a godly woman. No, she has a right to ask those questions. She has a right to give her opinion in those issues. The man is as accountable to the woman as the woman is accountable to the man.
Women cannot say no to their husband because they know that they are vessels. They've been bought. And this thing can be changed by when we start to speak the truth and tell them that they are imported. They are not bought. They are not vessels. They are human beings that need to be respected.
Culturally, it is the man who looks for a woman to marry. Once he finds a woman to marry, the man is charged and pays for the woman to marry. Now, originally, lobola is not supposed to be a transaction that should translate into a woman being treated as a commodity. It's an appreciation. However, because the man has been charged, they feel they own the woman. And because the woman is owned, that brings about the idea that the man can do what he wants. The more money he has, the more women he can marry.
Really, that kind of proverb is very misleading. It's misplaced, and it is not the type of thing we would want to promote. If anything, it is one of those things that we have targeted and have helped people to see that it is not to be accepted in our society. You see, multiple and concurrent sexual partnerships have been proved by scientific research today as a key driver in exacerbating and increasing the infections in HIV. And for that reason, if that is a driver, we've got to find a way of stemming those infections. So we can't allow men to live anyhow and to be able to have extramarital affairs.
And the pastors need even to encourage men who are in the churches to help them to understand the role of a husband, the role of a young man, the role of a woman, the role of a young woman in the church and even in the families. What does the word head mean in the families? Does it mean you are a boss? Does it mean you are going to control everything? So the pastors need to teach men.